Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. It is a lovely Thursday morning, October 6th to be exact. And be here with me, your fave, Azam. Usually my producer and co-host, Jade Gwen is here with us, but she won't be in this morning. And so I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys, having some cool conversation this morning. We have some interesting topics to go through. I have some stuff on my mind, so I'm gonna offload because guess what? I can. But DJ Shabang, big up yourself. First on the live this morning. Guys, feel free to call in and contribute to the topics as we have a conversation. Hopefully everyone's out there doing okay. Actually doing better than okay. Doing better than okay. That's the hope this morning, that everyone out there is doing better than okay. And if you're not, then you're definitely doing things and putting things in place to get there. Let's see. Hey, Olga, big up yourself. Appreciate it. Good morning. Good morning. So today's Thursday. Usually we grind our gears, and if you have a gear to grind, feel free to call in and share. But I don't know if this is a gear. I already ground some gears this week. Talking about the mold situation. Are we keeping an eye on that? Waiting for some updates. I'm hoping that persons already have meetings with the relevant authorities. But we won't repeat that this morning. We have a lot of time for that. But somebody already joining in on the conversation. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island Tea. What's up?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
And good morning to the listeners home and abroad. Carl Brown here. I want to talk about entrepreneurship and small business people in this federation. And I am very happy to hear that the financial community would be having a seminar this afternoon at the IT building. That's at the industrial site, right?
Yeah, the ICT building, yeah.
Yeah, it is very good to hear that the financial community, because I have been calling for that for quite a while, that the financial community would step in and assist small business people to enhance, extend the business, and upcoming young, middle-aged entrepreneur who wants to start business. And it's very good for them to be coming up with that seminar this afternoon. And those who are interested is at 5:30 this afternoon at the IT center at the industrial site. So I'm hoping that a lot of small business people who are interested in business are listening and would attend that seminar this afternoon, because it's going to be very enlightening. Well, for me, I am one who wants to start a business here, but one of the things for those who are listening, that it's very hard and think it's nervous to start a business. It's a lot of run around, it's a lot of hard work and trouble.
Yep.
And I hope this afternoon that would make, they will come up with some plans and some ideas and some suggestions from us to help our own citizens and residents to get into business much easier than how it is now. One of the problems that we are having is to accessing land to do business, because they don't want nobody in town selling around and things. And when you applying to start business, land is the biggest issue. So for those who are listening, please to help us to get land so we could start business and help the government and the private sector with decreasing the unemployment troubles that we are having. Because that's what my business, I want to hire people who are not employed. And I don't want nobody from STEP. So when I lay out my business plan this afternoon, I hope it will catch the eyes and ears and attention of those who are attending and the financial people.
Correct.
All right, so that's what I want to put forward. I don't know if anybody wants to support and call in and help to assist with this, because lots of us want to start business, but Lord, it's too much run on, too much troubles, and we are natives.
Yeah, for real, it's difficult.
When you look around, you see people from all over the world come in and get business up and running. And you wonder, well, I have been trying, I am trying. Well, how? That's the question you're asking. And natives and citizens should not be asking that kind of question. We should be telling and say, listen, this is what you do, here's where you go, and these are who you talk to. That's how we should be offering our services, not we have to be asking how to do this, where to go, who to think, and when you go there, they tell you go there. When you go there, they tell you go there. I mean, come on. How are we to be the backbone of the large businesses if we're not getting the start? So that is what I want to put forward, sir.
Understood. Well, good luck with your endeavors. Hoping that you get some information at the event this afternoon. If not, at least you could express your concerns and the issues that you've been having. And the truth is, a lot of entrepreneurs have faced and continue to face the same types of runaround, red tape. I remember when I was registering my business, it was crazy. Just up to now, nobody could explain to me why I had to do an interview. I had to have an interview with the police. And this isn't any. I didn't have any issue with the officer and the interview. Just obviously he wasn't the one who put the policy in place. But I was like, wait, I've done this before. I didn't have to do this. This is a new thing. And then sometimes you have to, sometimes you don't have to. Nature of the business, I don't know. But hey. Oh, okay, Witty. I like that idea. Saying that we need a couple of the presenters on the show. All right. Well, today's Thursday, and yes, the plight of the entrepreneur is well noted. I mean, everybody who has gotten into business understands that is not an easy task at all. It's, yeah, I didn't even want to get into some of the issues that I'm dealing with right now, because I might end up start calling them and then people don't get back something. But anyway, the last few days I've been having conversations with people around responsibility of not necessarily elders, but of older people who have a responsibility to the younger generation, and how I've seen failure after failure by some of these things that lead to detrimental consequences and detrimental outcomes. And a few days ago, I think it was last week we spoke briefly about a rapper that was killed in California. Went to a pretty famous chicken place. Someone came in, robbed him, shot him, and he lost his life. Now, I don't know, we didn't do an update on it, but the update is almost as sad as the situation itself, the initial report. So in custody for the murder is a family. A family. You have a father, a stepmother, and a 17-year-old boy. Now, what has been entered into evidence, I guess it's not been proven by the court yet, I suppose, but the reports coming out that state how things went is the father would have gotten the tip that this guy was in there, in the restaurant. He would have left the restaurant, go and pick up his 17-year-old son so they could rob rob the restaurant. Y'all understand what I'm telling you? A father made the decision to go get his 17-year-old son so they could go and rob this guy. On top of that, the father's role in this situation was to be the getaway driver. He sent his son inside with the weapon to go do the robbing and perform the execution. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand how a father puts his son in a position to potentially not come back to him. Whether it be because of some violent act or could not come back to him by entering the legal system, the justice system. I don't understand that. But this has been a conversation that I've been having with people for the past few weeks. I remember, and one of the last conversations I had where this is demonstrated, right here. I remember when I was in school, there would always be these young men. There would always be these young men that would stand outside of the school and they would encourage students from their area to get involved in what one might call gang activity and that kind of thing, right? Would literally send them back on the school premises to go and attack other students from some different area. These are older men, already graduated high school, past school age, so they're over 16, 17, looking at 11, 12, 14, 15-year-olds and encouraging them to go and participate in these types of activities. They done it all day in school. You're busy running around playing catching with your friends, and now school done, you're being encouraged to go and attack somebody who sat next to you all day. They ain't trouble you, they ain't doing nothing. Just because, well, we feel you're from here and they're from there, and so such and such and such. And I don't say this to be to sensationalize anything or to make to get clicks or to make it interesting. But the truth is, a lot of those young men, they're not with us anymore. They're dead. And I see those same men who were outside the school walking around cool and calm now. Walking around, riding around on their pedal bikes, liming on the same corners they were liming on 20 years ago. And talk about those times with so much pride. When the truth is, but they cause so much destruction in the community. They come around, they talk about, hey, back in the day. What about all them youngsters that can't say that? They can't say anything at all. They can't say anything at all. I mean, I've seen it specific. There's several specific instances where I'm watching and I'm saying, I remember when you encourage such and such over and over again, and I know what happened to that fellow. as a result, yeah. I know what happened. Like, we need to understand that we all have some responsibility to somebody. But no man is an island, right? And when I see people just skirting their responsibility, and as a result causing such harm, drama, chaos, sometimes it just don't feel right that these people just, yeah, I mean, in the case of the rapper, like, of course they have the father in custody, but when time come to sentence, he getting sentenced as the getaway driver. Yeah, he ain't pull the trigger. He getting sentenced as the getaway driver. So I don't know what they're gonna do or how they're gonna look at that situation. But somehow I believe that he ain't gonna get the same amount of time as his 17-year-old son that he encouraged to go in. Cause he ain't come out and say, well, I ain't tell him shoot the man. I tell him go ahead and get the chain. But I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand it. Or we all have these responsibilities, and if we don't take those responsibilities seriously, we end up in some serious, or we end up putting people in some serious situations. You as a father have responsibility to keep your son safe, to provide and protect. And too many times we see parents doing the exact opposite. Instead, putting their children in positions to hurt others, to feel pain. And I'm not talking about things rough on you and you're unable to, even through your best efforts, provide whatever. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just a lack of understanding for the role that you're supposed to play. And as a result, create utter chaos in people's life. I use this example. I say parents, well, children are like crystal, right? Fine crystal. You know, you have a nice crystal glass. Some parents, they go and they touch their children with the gloves, right? And you might leave a little lint on the glass. They handle with care. Some parents, they go and they hold the children with bare hands and leave their fingerprints all over the crystal and smudge it and thing. And some parents, they take the crystal and try it on the ground and stamp up on it all over. Break it into a million pieces that could never be repaired. Yeah, all parents gonna affect their children, whether we like it or not. We're imperfect beings. We all going to leave our marks on our children. But how we do that and what marks we end up leave, those things have long-lasting, irreparable consequences. But anyway, there's somebody joining the conversation. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning, sir. Carl Brown here again.
Morning.
Now, sir, look at this incident that you are discussing. Now, parents or head of homes are supposed to protect, guide, provide, counsel, teach, and supervise over children. Now, look at this father. Go and encourage his son to go and rob a restaurant and kill their own family. Now, when you look at this, how are children supposed to trust and look at their parents who are supposed to be the hero? You see where we're heading? Mm-hmm. Now, imagine your leader, your guide, your protector and provider encourage you to go and harm, kill another human being, and worst of all, start your own family. The question is, how children supposed to look at what's supposed to be their hero, their guide and their protector, and they are the destroyer of another human life, and worst of all, it's your own family. That is the telling question. And the father could get more years than the son who actually do the murder, because the court could look at and will look at that the father was the mastermind behind this robbery and murder, and he encouraged or forced a minor to go and kill another adult and also commit what we will call a nation crime. So the father could end up getting more years than the son who actually do the murder. Because of his seniority, and he guided, encouraged, and enforced his son to kill another human being.
Right.
So that could come out that the father get more than the son.
Yeah.
Gone the boy.
All right. Appreciate your contribution. But boy, I'm telling you, we gonna have to really look at the role we play as people who have influence, especially over young people. Like, I remember when I was younger, I would hear older fellas run home some fellas, say, no, not you ain't supposed to be out here. They watch him, they walk out by you, he bad on football, that's a footballer there. You ain't supposed to be down here, come go home. I would hear it, and I would be in several communities all over the place. I had a very privileged childhood, I would say. I was able to maneuver in several communities, whether it was Newtown, McKnight, Sadler's, Tabernacle. And in these communities, you'd have the older fellas that would look at the younger ones and say, hey, stop worshipping. Don't we know what they're doing, eh? We know what it is they're over there doing. We know what they're into. But they would look at you and say, no, not you. No, you ain't supposed to be here. Come go home. Not encouraging you to come and do the same stupidness. I mean, of course, leading by example is always more influential. So perhaps what they needed to do is to practice what they preached. But at the same time, they wasn't encouraging you to come do the same stupidness they were doing, man. And then that phenomena that I recognize, like, from certain people. I said, boy, watch you. When we start talking about who's responsible for a lot of these violent acts, the gang thing was bad at one point, I can tell you. Those of you who went to school in the late 90s, early 2000s, y'all know what's going on. But I just believe, but these people got to be held culpable. I mean, one person I'm thinking about in particular, he did a little stint. He went and sit down over by the Queen for a little bit. But I know he out, and the problem is that the people that he encouraged, where they gone, they can't come back from. You got whole families now that all the ball of potential gone. I remember one youngster in particular. The dude was a genius. I don't use that term loosely. He was from the village. I taught him. The fellow was a genius. He ain't got to come to school to pass no tests. But he just had a real troubled childhood and upbringing. Between his parents not being around, his older brother doing the best he could to kind of take care of them both. The fellow was a bona fide genius. But circumstances, and he is one of them I would see some of the older boys come and encourage and take advantage of him. And he's not here today. He's not here. And sometimes I sit and I wonder where he would have been just with a little guidance. Somebody telling him, nah. Come go home. Somebody is saying that there's a sad situation in Nevis where a dog killed a 3-year-old child. Can you please encourage these pit bull owners to please secure their dogs? I heard something about it. I wasn't going to talk about it because I haven't gotten enough information. All I saw was a Facebook post. But what I would say, in the absence of, full report of any sort, let me tell y'all something. We need to stop blaming the breeds of the dogs. A lot of times, dog owners, they train their dogs to be aggressive purposefully. Yes, of course, the dog should be kept safe and stuff like that. Keep in the yard. The people that got the dog, them just running up and down. The truth is, but some people ain't even got no ability to do that because they ain't on a fence. But that is a sad situation. I don't want to talk until I get more information. But good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Yeah, good morning. It's nice listening to you guys. Sometimes when I look up on the clock and I see 5 to 10, I say, oh my God, I miss them fellas. Two young people here. I love to listen to you all. But let me tell you something about Pitbull Boy. I had told them, I could remember years ago, when I was planning to get a dog, and somebody offered me a Pitbull. And I discussed the matter with my daughter. She said, no, daughter, I have always said, no, daddy, take the dog. And it was the somebody poisoned it, Pitbull, and I had a second one. To me, that one was too docile, They used to buy much and so on, but there was one in the yard that felt that he wanted to take over. And the dog would always put him in his place. But when that dog latch on to the other dog, there's no amount of beating that could get them loose. So what I had to do is to get a hose. I always had a hose in the yard, and I'll open the water and then push it between the mouth and so on. That's when you let go. But it was the most loving dog that I ever had, boy. I tell you, I had to put it down because he had some blockage. And when I went to Russian and the kind of money they were talking about, boy, that was a huge amount of money, the thousands, just to operate on the dog. So I really had to put it down, call the guy. It took no more than about 5 seconds. That's how quick it was.
Yeah.
And I really missed the dog up to today. But I believe it's how you train the dog. And
it's how you train your dog.
I want to believe it's how you train them, because when Pitbull latch on, no amount of beating is going to separate them. The dog is not going to let go until the other one dead. So it's really sad, boy. I mean, can you imagine what that child went through? Be torn apart by the dog. Them dogs don't let go, when they hold on to you. And let me just bring up quickly, because you guys just shift so fast with the youngster who died in the village. I think that's the impression I got from you. And I knew him. If it's that one you're talking about, bright boy. He used to talk to me about the problem he was having at home. And one day going to work, and next thing I was told that he was shot. You always ask yourself, if he was alive today, what would have become of him?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very bright boy. And I believe it's the same case you're talking about, but I won't go into detail, because family members might don't want to be reminded of that. What he's I used to talk to him all the while, and he explained to me. And the same case you're talking about, his brother, I think he got into some mix-up, and his brother took the blame for him.
Yeah.
Not mistaken, went to prison for him, something like that. I think it's the same case. Bright young man. But he just had this problem in his house, and finally he was killed, and it really was sad, because I loved the young man so much. It wasn't funny. He was like a son of mine, really, really bright boy. But he and I used to talk. He used to tell me about the issues and them he have at home. There's a young lady who used to encourage him, whose name I wouldn't call, but if she's listening, she'll know who she is. What is really sad though is I think these youngsters need guidance. They can change, but I don't know. Society just give up on them. I don't know. I really don't know why. But that young man there was bright. bright.
Mm-hmm.
They used to work. He worked with us for a short while, and he teaches something today, and he remember tomorrow. Easy to train, but he had problems. And as for the dog, why all dogs could be bad, depending on how you train them.
That's
It's
the
very
point, yeah.
unfortunate this youngster, this child 3 years old. I could imagine what the child went through before he died. You know, it's really terrible. But my condolences go to the family members and them. It's not the dog, it's the way you train them. And I think that's it. You do have some dogs that I read up a lot on dogs. Certain dogs you have to be careful. You shouldn't have them as a pet. But I believe that all dogs could be trained. Just like how you could train a dog to take down a bad person, I believe all dogs could be trained to be a little more docile than the way some people train them to be vicious and want to. And another thing quickly is that you must be able to control the dog. If you call the dog and you say, hey, it's supposed to stop. But some people don't have any control over the dog. But again, you guys, good program.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for your contribution.
Yeah, okay, later.
Yeah, I mean, I think some breeds get a bad rep, and I can tell you something. I have seen very aggressive, what we call them, Kittitian terriers, aka dump and dog, because the owners train them that way. And you have a dog and you can't control your dog. Well, you fail as a dog owner, you know. And this isn't speaking specifically to the situation that happened, but we come down taking responsibility. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Carl Brown here again. I want to remind the general public, a few years ago, in WinFM early years, they would have that in the archives as a news item that students were doing some jogging right here in St. Kitts, and someone dog jumped over the fence and run after the student and bite the student. The matter was taken before our local court here, and the court ordered the police to go and shoot the dog. I don't know how much they had to pay. The news item didn't say what would the cost, but we also I'm reminding the public that years ago, the Labour government was in office, and they did pass in Parliament that if your dog bites anybody, you could pay up to 100,000. I don't know what is the law concerning the dog causing death now, how and what that's going to be like. But I know if those big dogs are what we call bad dogs, or special breed, the law was passed that you could pay up to $100,000. The law is right there, you all could look it up. It was passed. Dr. Denzel Douglas was the Prime Minister at the time when that was passed. So we could look into that, and they always tell you your dogs are to be tied, penned up, fenced up, and protected from the public. And some dogs is not trained; they're just naturally aggressive. But many of us are training them to be even more aggressive now. I got me, boy.
All right, appreciate it. But from my understanding, part of the issue is that let me give you my perspective, and based on dog owners. I have family members who are very close with dogs. I have friends who own kennels. I have a friend who breeds dogs in the US for sale. The dogs going for $100,000, and so is what he'll be selling. What he and others have said is there's certain breeds that have certain needs. What happens is that owners don't recognize the needs of their dog, because the way we treat dogs here, a lot of times we don't pay attention to these things. So what would happen is, even down to the grooming of the dogs, Everybody want the little fluffy dog, the little chihuahua dog. You recognize that you need to brush the coats daily. So you don't brush the coat, there is going to be some consequence, right? When you look, you got a rasta puppy, right? But it's the same thing with behavior. If you have a dog breed that is athletic, that likes to run, that likes to play, it's been bred specifically for to have these particular attributes. These dogs ain't come from nowhere. These dogs were bred to have certain attributes, right? You don't give, you take the dog, you feed it raw meat and pepper, you tie it up in the back of the yard, you don't take it for no walks, you don't take it to the beach, you don't do nothing with it. The dog going stir crazy because the dog's natural instinct is to run, is to play, you have to tire out the dog. There's some dogs you're supposed to walk them twice a day. Now you know you ain't got the time for that. You know you ain't got the time to feed the dog right, to give the dog the proper balance. All of these things are known. How you supposed to feed your dog? You go down, you buy the dog a $5 Chinese food, give the dog. You go down, you find some place where got some stale back and neck, you try to eat with some rice and you give the dog. No proper balance of what the dog needs. It's just like anything else. You have a responsibility to properly take care of the dog. We're just talking about children now. We ain't comparing dogs to children, even though some people act as if they love the dog more than the child. That's a whole other topic. But you as the dog owner have a responsibility to take care of the dog properly. We can't say, oh, pit bull this and that. No, the truth is that those are sporty dogs, but we as the owners, especially here, we tie them in the yard. And then we go out every now and again and give them something and tell them, uts, 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 uts. And you make the dog stir crazy. The dog isn't getting the proper exercise it needs. And all you do, whenever you go out with the dog, is literally reward it for aggressive behavior. And the truth is that's what we're doing a lot of the times. That's what we're doing a lot of the times. If you take the time, take your dog for walks, feed it properly, reward it for proper behavior. The truth is, a lot of us ain't know to train a dog. We want dog to deter people from coming in the yard. That's really what it is. It's just this deterrent that you have to feed in the back of the yard. That's it. You don't recognize that this animal needs special care and attention. The same thing, people have cows and things, they recognize that you're supposed to shave the hooves and all these kind of things. Your cow walking around lame. Your horse, the same thing. All these animals require special attention. If you don't give it the special attention, then what can happen? So if you take a sporty dog, lock it up all the time, and the only time you play with it, you reward it for being aggressive, then what you expect can happen? And this ain't no isolated case. Again, I don't know what happened in Nevis. I don't know. But this is what I just see. A lot of times you tie on this big chain on the dog, you feed it all this raw meat and rice, and you just go out and you hit it in the face and you play with it and uts and all kind of thing, and then you wonder why when the dog run away and go up and run around and don't know how to act. The dog hasn't been trained. You yourself don't know the special needs of your dog. You don't know how to care for the dog. But you know, oh, they say this is bad dog, so let me get one. And then you don't have it in your head that it's a bad dog. You train it to be a bad dog, and then who's surprised when the dog is a bad dog? I don't think anybody should be surprised. But this idea that the breeds are inherently bad, no. I tell you, I don't see dump and dog do the same thing. Right? I see small dogs do the same thing. Now the level of damage, of course, might be less. But some of these small dogs here are more aggressive than the big dogs, I can tell you that. More aggressive. You got some small dogs, any other dog, it don't matter the size, they see they're running after them. They're running after them. They haven't been trained. They haven't been trained. They haven't been given the attention and care that they need. And so, that's how it is. Someone's asking for the number to call in. You could call 465-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989. I'm not seeing the paper with the overseas number, but I'll try to get that to you guys before the show ends. Again, I don't know. I'm waiting for an actual report on what happened in Nevis, but the initial word that I'm hearing is very sad. And again, there's been a loss of life, and so condolences to the family, loved one, friends, community over there in Nevis. Yeah. But guys, we're going to take a short break and come right back. Don't go anywhere. Stick and stay. And stay tuned for more Island Tea. We'll be right back.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Jive Sports and Entertainment present the Island Vibe Comedy and Music Experience at St. Kitts Marriott Resort and Royal Beach Casino, October 13th through the 16th. Will be an unforgettable weekend. It's 4 days and 3 nights of the hottest DJ, the funniest comedian, and non-stop music. It's the ultimate vibe. It's the Island Vibes Comedy and Music Experience at St. Kitts Marriott Resort and Royal Beach Casino, October 13th through the 16th. Book your rooms and get your event tickets today. For more info, go to islandvibescme.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island Tea, right here on Win Media SKN. It's still Thursday, October 6th, and yeah, we're just about halfway through the show this morning. Having some interesting conversation. Thanks to all the callers who called in so far, all you guys who've been commenting on the live stream. Thank you so much. But guess what? It's tea time. So, we're going to start with a article that's found on winmediaskn.com. Make sure you go and check it out for all your local, regional, and international news. And the headline reads, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis reaffirms commitment to a strong partnership between St. Kitts and Nevis and Republic of China, Taiwan. The Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, and the Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, met with the Ambassador for the Republic of China, Taiwan, to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Michael Chow Hong Lin. By virtue of the close relationship and mutual collaboration with the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency, the Ambassador, provided a grant to the government for the Pinnies Beach Nevis Sustainable Tourism Enhancement Project. Oh, that's interesting. I was wondering what going on with Pinnies, eh? Also, yeah, well, yeah, all the Nevis people, yeah, what going on with Pinnies? I walk out in dispute or something, you know, because they ain't been looking so jiggy. But continuing, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew received the grant with great satisfaction and reiterated his commitment to deeper partnerships with the Premier of Nevis, Honorable Mark Brantley, and the Nevis Island Administration. The Ambassador expressed his enthusiasm regarding his first contribution to the new government, stating that this is a new relationship not only between us and the federal government, but also the local government of Nevis. It is very important that we continue this relationship, and we look forward to having you visit us in Taiwan. The Prime Minister expressed his appreciation and the interest in continuing to unite efforts between both countries to further strengthen the relations of cooperation and friendship. This is a excellent photo. There's a photo of three men who were mentioned in the article: the Ambassador, the Prime Minister, and the Premier. This is an interesting time for this conversation to be happening, especially on the heels of, you know, some of the discussion that was had last week in regards to, you know, a Chinese. I don't know if she's a Chinese national, but yeah, one of the developers here being with the St. Kitts and Nevis delegation at the UN, and how that would be perceived by our Taiwan partners and stuff like that. So it's a very timely reiteration, right? Especially not only for that, but of course with everything going on between China and Taiwan. It's a very interesting time for international policy and politics. Lots happening. Countries moving from one trading bloc to the next. All sorts of partnerships and treaties. Potential for war. Actual wars happening. There's a lot going on in international relations right now. But I'm actually very interested to hear about that. Let's see what it's actually called. The Pinnies Beach Nevis Sustainable Tourism Enhancement Project. That's a long name. But I'd love to hear more about that. Perhaps we got to get Drip on the show. We haven't had him since the last elections. And then again, I can't even say we'll have him before the next elections, because election in Nevis again right now. When election in Nevis is supposed to be is March next year? By March next year? Somebody on the live, let me know. I feel like St. Kitts Nevis are always in election mode. Eh? But anyway, I digress. Moving forward, we spoke a bit about this yesterday, but the headline for this article reads: Regional reports suggest vessel held in St. Kitts Nevis deep water port from SBG, that's St. Vincent and the Grenadines. According to an article from the St. Vincent Times, a vessel which purportedly left St. Vincent on Tuesday, that was October 4th, en route to the British Virgin Islands, was allegedly held in St. Kitts with illegal drugs. It is not clear if the crew of the vessel were Vincentians. The report further stated that there were allegations that authorities took several crew members into custody after the vessel was searched at Deep Water Port in Bird Rock, St. Kitts, and a large quantity of narcotics was purportedly discovered. Customs officials in St. Kitts have not yet to confirm the allegations. Win awaits the joint statement to be issued according to customs officials. Well. So we really ain't get a official report from customs yet. Like that's, I tell you, Lord man, even if you feed us a little information to say, hey, the video that you guys saw was indeed here in St. Kitts, and we're looking into the situation. Even a little something like that, man. Lord man. Even if you tell us that y'all tested the contents and a man had the best trip of his life, whatever it is, guess a little something. Give us a little something now. We getting reports from St. Vincent before we get reports from St. Kitts. Wow. I think when things like this happen, this is what has caused people to question, Because what happens is people are going to start to fill in the blanks. People are trying to figure out, well, what actually going on, why they ain't saying nothing, why it is they hiding, why it is they don't know. Is it that they don't know how to test? Is it that we don't have the facilities here? Is it that they're protecting somebody? Like, cut the speculation, feed us a little information. Let's know what's going on. The video done out. The video already out. We don't see it. People done went and talked to the people who was on the ship. We know the officers. The officer is we neighbor. We know. So we know he was saying it. We know the port. We know the port look. So I had this conversation already, here about how, in my estimation, one of the roughest one of the roughest parts of being in the media must be talking to the security forces, particularly police. But come like customs, I want a close second by. Jade, the tester was obviously on cloud 9, has not come down yet. That's obviously what happened, Jade. Well, in the absence of a report, that's what I'm thinking. So they're waiting for the person to come down off cloud 9 to tell them what the experience was like. And then they could confirm or deny what the contents of the packages were. Oh boy. You have to be. What else could explain it? What else could explain it? But anyway. Big up St. Vincent one time giving us some information. Even though we're here waiting for the longest while. As a matter of fact, while we're on St. Vincent, why we don't stick to St. Vincent? Oh, before we move on, we have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
We have a tendency to try to keep secrets what are open scandal already. Because for some reason or another, because it's out of the box faster than those who should be letting it out, they have a tendency to hold back before they come to the public and say something. And for some reason or another, that's what it appears to be happening in most departments in St. Kitts. You're talking about going engaged. I was, a couple of days ago, Monday, I think it was, I was listening to the presentation of solid waste. I like to talk about home, things are happening home. I don't like to really criticize our people. But sometimes I like to say some of the things that I think that they did not say.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize that solid waste have having this program for over a period of time now and Win FM, and they have closed the program to the public, and the presenter just comes on and she just talk her way out. And in my mind, that's not what the program was all about. The program was to get the people, give their input, and so that they will be part of solid waste to keep their community clean. And so having seen that, she even went as far as bring on somebody who was presenting their show. And they came on yesterday also and leave herself out. Not even address the public and ask the public to bring things that they see that they can address them by the public and for the public. And so that, to me, that's not a good thing. One of the things that I noticed in solid waste is that there are people who are sweeping drains And as they sweep the drains, they have no place to put those trash that they sweep. And those same trash end back up in the drain and end up at the border side of our ocean. And I don't know if they have a strategy plan for that, or they wait until they get down to the ocean to get down there and say how much garbage they clean off the shore. So without getting information and feedback from the public, which she was given some information to, that people should call in and give your view to the, what the project was the gentleman was presenting. He was talking about the...
They were from the Urban Development Unit.
Urban development and how people must come and give their view. But she didn't ask for any view of solid waste of which she was presenting. So here we go. Someone dropped the ball. I'm not criticizing her really. I'm just saying as it is. She dropped the ball in her area, but delivering somebody else's area. So in a lot of areas, we normally talk about somebody issue and forget our own. And so I say that the guy from Urban Development did a good job. He said, he leave the number. He said, anybody have an issue with so-and-so, we're ready to communicate with you. We want to know how you think because we want to move forward. We want to move forward together and so on. And the guy from Urban Development did a good job. But she keep her mouth closed in her department. So I said all of that to say this and come around to this other one where you said that the minister who went to the conference with the Chinese, the United Nations. In my mind, if they was going to say something about it to any one of the ministers, they would have already touched it. And so don't look for anything from that. So if we could call that a dead note, somebody who would have hoped they'll learn from the mistakes and the part is move on. So that to me is a short case. We're going to be talked about, yes, but I don't think any one of the ministers are going to touch it. Thank you very much for continuing to educate the public. They can take you out of the classroom, but they cannot take the classroom out of you. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you for your contributions. I mean, as it relates to talking trash, I think there's a conscious decision to maneuver the show away from being just one way. It is for them to get information. But use it as a platform to share information, and we see it with some of the shows where it becomes difficult for them to share what they may have prepared because the public does have a lot of of concerns. There's always things to work on. I guess they figure, and again, this is total assumption, and I don't work for solid waste, so I would know, but that there is a mechanism for persons to report any concerns, anything they see to the solid waste department, but there's only one opportunity for them on this particular platform to give information. So I suspect that might be the way they're looking at it. What I can do is I could encourage them to once again share ways in which persons who have concerns, comments, commendations, or anything else for the solid waste to be able to reach them. So I probably encourage them to do that. Nama, you hear that? So we'll see how that goes. Well, to be honest, I wasn't really looking for any comment about the presence of the developer at the UN. I don't think there had been a bit of a response. I think from my understanding she was an invited guest. I don't know who invited her and for what reason, but yeah. I don't know. The question is, people keep saying, okay, it might have just been a lapse in judgment. I look at it a bit differently. I would now look forward to see in what other instances we see persons from this particular development group involved in government activities and so forth and so forth. That might be a bit more telling about the relationship, but we'll see. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning. A slightly different topic. I went to Social Security, the board, which is government appointed, to renew my Social Security ID card, which had expired 2 days before. And I was required to provide 2 pieces of ID. So I provided my government-issued driving license, and I proffered my government-issued national ID card, only for Social Security to say, we don't accept that as official identification. So I have done this also with the Ministry of Finance. So maybe we should just do away with the national ID card, since it's no longer being accepted by government who actually issued it.
Oh boy. You're not the first person I've heard say that. So yeah.
Yeah, but maybe when the lady from Social Security comes on next week or whenever, maybe you could ask her why, and then we could get down to it.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be a good question to ask.
Right? Because the lady at the counter at Social Security, people have been bringing in fraudulent ones. So if that's the case, then we have to do away with the national ID card because it's no longer valid.
Well, something have to happen because it really causes a question.
Now we have a new administration in. I think that's a nice topic for them to start on.
All right, I'll definitely put it to the powers that be.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. I've heard several people with that same complaint. Yeah, the national ID isn't accepted everywhere. So there we go. Hey, where Lord got where you need him by? Anyway, good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Morning.
2 matters to address. Carl here. The national ID card, it is not only Social Security, a number of other private sector business and government institutions, which that card was issued by the government as a national ID card. So it means that it should be able to use anywhere in the federation. So it means that Social Security, who is the umbrella fall under the government, is what we call breaking the law, and all others who are not accepting the national ID card as a national ID is breaking the law. And we are asking now, what is the law is going to do about that? Because something is issued by your government to be used, how a government institution is rejecting it, it means you're breaking the law. And that's highly disrespectful to customers and to the law itself, and the law refused to take its stand.
Mr. Brown, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Why is it that businesses or any institution in the federation is refusing a national ID card?
Let me ask you a question because it's slipping me right now. The national ID card is a picture ID? Is your picture on it?
Yes, it is a picture ID. With all your information, your date of birth, and all of that stuff.
Right. Oh, by the Lord, got to tell you.
The law is failing the citizens again.
Well, we could definitely ask a question. I'd be interested to find out why the
government will take up that and make a stand and get it right quickly, because the last government, many others have also called for the government then to rectify this matter, and they did not do it. So we hope this government will correct this, because this is a national incident when you look at it, Because we set a law and we are breaking the same law. So it's a national incident. The other thing is, the lady that went with our delegation to the UN, she was specially invited by the Foreign Affairs Minister, which is Dr. Denzel Douglas. And my question I have been asking on talk show, didn't the Foreign Affairs Minister see no other business person, especially in his constituency, that he could have worked with, especially invited to that UN meeting? Nobody else in St. Kitts Nevis, not a business person who have been toiling and putting forth the hard work and thing in the Federation to work with them to the UN meeting. Why it have to be the lady who is the CEO or something like that of Galaxy? One to the other businesses in St. Kitts. And this was the time now for Dr. Douglas to shine as the Foreign Affairs Minister, because he could have taken up some young, nice entrepreneur, middle-aged entrepreneur out of the constituency of number 6 and work with them. He would have shined like a bright light in doing that. But here now we are all in controversy, and we all are left without information. Up to now, none of them won't answer the question. And the questions that are asked, why was this lady of this company, she's a citizen of St. Kitts Nevis and a citizen of the U.S., and they ain't say she's a citizen of China, and we are told that she is directly from China, Taiwan, between there. But the news is saying she's a citizen of St. Kitts Nevis and a citizen of the U.S. So where is she from? Where did she born?
Well,
I guess that these guys not coming to answer, and the former government was abused verbally for not answering questions and not coming forth with things. And this government claimed that we are going to correct that. But they come here to reach in, they fail us, just like past government, and are doing the same thing. So the question is this government going to correct these incidents? Because these are campaign promises, and remember, we are going to keep your foot to the fire. Well, everybody in a car going to continue to do that.
Indeed. All right, Mr. Brown, appreciate it. Thank you for your contribution. Maybe people, well, somebody can say wait long, but who knows? But again, I think even looking forward, for me, it might be a little more interesting to see future involvement with the government, and that might be a bit more telling. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Hey, good morning, Azim. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you?
Oh, here giving God thanks as usual, you know.
Nice.
In spite of everything, God is still good.
Indeed.
Still good. He doesn't change, you see. Our circumstances don't change God. He changes our circumstances. I have two comments to make. The first one about the voter's ID. That's what they're calling national ID. Mm-hmm. If you acknowledge that some of them are fake, should you have taken steps to, one, find out who is counterfeiting them, and two, either issue new ones, because it doesn't make any sense. If you know that they are fake ones, well, how did the people come by them? When they show up with them, you should hold them for them to answer how they come by it. Because there should be a list, you know?
Right.
Now,
right.
The next thing, who owns the buildings at Beacon Heights? Because I heard an answer yesterday that did satisfy me when asked about how come the Prime Minister has taken up residence at Beacon Heights. Now, if we go back to Beacon Heights is a social security investment project. You remember that?
Yeah.
I think it's 89 million. And the task was to provide investment income by constructing villas that would bring in money for Social Security, since they were advised to try and invest locally. Mm-hmm. Well, it was said that the Prime Minister has taken up residence in one of the buildings. And yesterday, when asked by an interviewer on Freedom, he indicated that it did not cost the government anything. So I don't know how did the government purchase the building? Because if not, it belonged to Social Security. It is not in the government's position or possession to just take one. So I would like some further clarification on how did the government come in possession of that building to just give it assign it to the Prime Minister.
Well, we don't. Again, you don't. Well, I guess we don't know who own it or who possess it.
Well,
it might be him. It might be him.
He said it doesn't cost the government a cent.
It might be him. He might have made an investment.
This my next comment may be considered mischievous.
That's normal for you, isn't it?
Yeah, man. My good friend. You can call me. You can call me later. Now, Beacon Heights, as you know, is a gated community. You know that?
Yeah, city gates there. Yeah.
All right. Now, when you as a public official move into a gated community, having you locked out all those who you represent?
So that again,
Just a question. You know, I'm trying to say it. You could even want to.
No, I didn't hear the question. Sorry.
When you, as a public official, move into a gated community, which gives no access to the public unless you are going to a specific person in there, haven't you, by such an act, excluded, lock out those who are not invited?
No, I don't do business at my house. I do business at the office. No, check me by the office. Check me by my constituency office.
Let me ask you a question.
Check me by
wasn't there a resident before the election?
I'm saying, no, I'm talking about your question. You say if you lock out the people you represent. So I said, no, these people have access to me.
At your office, not your gate.
No, wherever. It could be a town hall meeting. It could be wherever. But because
that's true.
But because I live in a gated community, you have locked out the people I represent. Nah. Come again. come
no, interesting because Dr. Douglas maintained his residence in St. Paul's. Dr. Timothy in Tabernacle. Well, all the rest of them had their residence where it was easily accessible. Now, maybe he's setting a good example, you know. You understand?
Mm.
Some people don't know when are we, morning, noon, and night, they're by the gates. So I just thought about it, It might be a good idea, as you said, because some people, everything in the morning, first thing they wake up in the morning, before they pray to God, there was their daily bread, in front of the politician gate. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah.
That's what I say. That's what some of them do.
Mm.
So my man is setting the rule, laying down the rule in time.
Mm.
You don't come by my gate because you can't get in. All right then.
All right. Thanks, caller, for your contributions. But yeah, I didn't know about the interview. I didn't even know about the change of address and all of that. But actually, live where you're comfortable, yeah. Live where you can, live where you're comfortable. I ain't getting in that there. As a matter of fact, in a lot of countries, we know that once you become president, prime minister, you take up residence in a government-owned facility. Sometimes it's for security reasons. Sometimes it's symbolic, etc., etc., etc. So, and not only that too, some people keep their house in a certain place and they hardly ever there. So we know about that too. We know about that too. By the time you look at it, you can't even tell where this person live because yeah. I mean, even for security reasons, I definitely not judging people making a change once their position changes, right? Obviously, there's a new set of variables and factors involved. The new set of variables and factors involved that you have to take into consideration. So, good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up?
I think Sylvie I was in call it, but she hear a doctor just said he went there because his government building where he lives, he's doing some repairs, so he's not adequate enough for the security. So that's why he is here.
Okay.
So she hear all of that.
Okay.
She want to be mischievous.
Well, she did admit that the comment maybe at least perceived to be mischievous. So there was some admittance there.
Yeah, all right.
All right. I didn't hear this interview or question or comment. So, yeah. Somebody's here saying that they think in the future we do need to have a residence for any prime minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. That's something that we could look into. We have the governor's residence for sure. And like I said, sometimes it's a matter of security. Sometimes it's symbolic, but that is not something that is thing. I do believe though that the prime minister residence, wherever it is, most of the time I would suspect that there would have to be some upgrades done to ensure the security and safety of the prime minister. So that should be a part of the budget. I don't know if we are in the budget it will drop, but after elections, if there's a new prime minister, that there's money allocated to ensure that the property is secure. If not, have a residence that him and his family or her and her family could take up. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up? Lost that caller. And there's one more coming in. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
I'm not trying to speak for Miss Henry because I know she's quite capable of speaking for herself. But in my mind, if I was listening closely, she was not even thinking about the area, who is living in the building for Social Security. Because by the people, for the people. So to me, that it's okay. But I think what she was looking at, she was driving home the point that you have even a Social Security card that is not accepted as a national ID. And so I think it's the ID, and she was looking to see if Social Security property that are controlled by Social Security, how does government get control of that? And knowing the fact that the board that is put to run Social Security is overwhelmingly put by government, they can't do that. But she's like maybe she's thinking that government should be paying Social Security money for that building if they're occupying it. So it's not so much the Prime Minister, because it could happen to anybody. As a matter of fact, the Commissioner of Police is responsible for the security of the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister don't deal with that himself. That's come directly under the Prime Minister, the Commissioner, and he hand it down to a superintendent who will report back to him, and so on. And that's like a chain of command. So for him to pick out that and choose that, it might have been done by surveillance, overview by officers who have investigated and see which place is more likely for a better secure place for him, and where he will feel comfortable to leave and go to, and which will be adequate for him to stay. But to me, that are nothing basically simply the same. But to have a gated community for Social Security and there's no access, to me, that's a place that is set up to, I'm not sure it's going anywhere, because people who have money don't really like everybody to live close to them. So they're not going to sell more. They're not going to sell more spots up there. That's not going to happen easily. So the money going to be tied up there like other places always, you know. So, and government is renting buildings from Tom, Dick, and Harry. So what's the difference? If it's our building, the Social Security building is ours, and the Prime Minister lives there, God bless. It's ours. For the people, by the people. Everything that we do should be for the people, because it's by the people. And never forget the people. It's supposed to be in the best interest of the public. Thank you very much, teacher.
I would appreciate it. Thanks for your contribution. Somebody is saying that the Prime Minister said he is doing repairs to his private property to accommodate his security officers, and he's paying his money to fix it. Again, I didn't hear. That's what one of the commenters are saying. If that's the case, again, my personal belief is that, of course, like, I know for a fact that the Commissioner of Police is responsible for the security of this, so they should do an assessment, and if it's determined that there is a need for upgrades to the property to accommodate his security, then I think that's something that the government should at least contribute to. Someone is saying that we do have an official Prime Minister's residence, but none have ever used it. SH, where that is? Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning, Azam.
Good morning.
Good morning to the people of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. I'm listening to this discussion, and I'm left baffled a little bit, because if I understand Sylvine correctly, she said she listened to the interview yesterday, and I thought the Prime Minister was pretty clear in his comment when he said that he lives at Beacon Heights, that it is owned by the government. He even made references to the fact that hundreds of thousands of dollars was spent on one's personal property in the former government to fix it up for the Prime Minister to live there. And he did not want to do that. He did not want to be a part of that. So he's living someplace where the government spends its own money to fix up its own property. He did make reference also to the fact that he has his own home somewhere, and whatever he plans to do there, he will spend his own money. So what are we saying this morning, that we don't believe the Prime Minister? That's the way it came off to me. Because why come this morning with this sneaky comment about what was said yesterday? Why not make a call yesterday? They were taking calls yesterday. I think there's a plan for the Prime Minister to be back on that radio station taking calls, because they didn't feel that he was able to take enough calls. But the fact is that he was very clear in what he said yesterday. I don't understand the comment this morning. Let me just also say quickly, about the ID, the national ID. I found this baffling. Are you kidding me that a government institution and other institutions are refusing to accept the IDs? If in fact we have a suspicion that these IDs are fake, why not nip it in the bud right there and seize the ID? Take the ID and ask the person, on behalf of the police or whatever. I may be wrong, but I'm just saying this cannot make a whole lot of sense. Somebody has paid to get that ID, and then to show up at an institution to try and use the ID, and to be told that the ID is no good, the ID is fake, that's not good at all. That's really not good at all. And we have to really pay close attention to what we're doing here, because it's not looking good, it's not making us sound very good. Azam, you have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. You do the same. Yeah, I think what this is suggesting is that perhaps we do need an official residence. That's something that we need to consider. Somebody's saying that we do have one. I personally don't know where that is. Yeah, I don't know where that is. So that's something that we may need to discuss further. Guys, it's 9:30. We're gonna take a short break and be right back with the end of the show. Stay tuned, stay locked. I'll be right back.
Magnum. Take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge, take charge, take. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum and when me have in a me hand there. Here a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Energize your goals with Lucasade. Get it good. Look under the cap. Find the code. Win it. Thousands in prizes. iPhones and TVs. Or win 30 grand US dollars for your goals. That's goals.
For a chance to win 30,000 US dollars. Purchase any Lucasade Energy promo bottle. Look under the cap and find the code to win iPhones, TVs, and free Lucasade or 30,000 US dollars to energize your goals. See website, social media, or press for details. Lucasade, taste the energy.
Hey guys, welcome back to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Yeah, we were having all sorts of conversations, and we're gonna jump into before we started down the path of the need for our Prime Minister's residence. Cause to me, that's all I'm hearing right now. Someone is saying that the home of PA Southwell, CA Paul Southwell, sorry, used to live in the village. That I think that's supposed to be the Prime Minister's residence. I think I might have heard something about that before. but I do believe that there need to be some some work done there for sure. If that is the case, we're about to jump into this article, which only highlights that the Caribbean is a very interesting place. A few days ago, remember we read an article concerning a prisoner swap between Venezuela and the US. Well, in that article, it was reported that the swap took place in St. Vincent. Now we have another article with the headline that reads, "The St. Vincent's Prime Minister not denying nor confirming that the U.S.-Venezuela prisoner swap." He's not denying nor confirming the prisoner swap. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is neither denying nor confirming that the United States and Venezuela exchanged detained nationals in St. Vincent and the Grenadines last Saturday. International media reported that Venezuela freed 7 imprisoned Americans in exchange for the United States releasing 2 nephews of President Nicolas Maduro's wife, who had been jailed for years on narcotics convictions. Gonsalves, who is also the Minister of National Security and Legal Affairs, was asked at a news conference on Tuesday whether the exchange took place at Argyle International Airport or in Canuan in the Grenadines. He was also asked to state when the island entered into negotiations as the exchange points and what qualified St. Vincent and the Grenadines as the most suitable neutral territory for the exchange, as well as whether it was the first time that the island had facilitated such an exchange. But Gonsalves, one of the longest-serving prime ministers in the region, told reporters that the policy of St. Vincent and Grenadines, as encapsulated in its mantra, is friends of all, we strive for a better world. He said that any government which thinks that St. Vincent and Grenadines may be helpful in any matter to resolve or facilitate in the resolution of any conflict or difficulty, it is always willing to help because we are friends of all. Interesting response to them questions, eh? But he said St. Vincent and the Grenadines will never say what it is doing or not doing in any of these respects, unless it is necessary or desirable to do so, in all the circumstances and with the consent and agreement of anyone in which we have been involved in any matter regarding peace, good relations between state security and progress. Given what I have just said, I will neither confirm nor deny what you particularly ask. I stated the general position of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, he added. But is the international media already reporting that this thing happened there? So how it had to be... What? Yo, these prime ministers be wilding out here, boy. The Associated Press said that 3 people in Venezuela who were briefed on the matter had spoken on the condition of anonymity. The news agency said that the Americans included 5 oil executives held for nearly 5 years, and that the exchange came after months of back-channel diplomacy by senior U.S. officials, secretive talks with a major oil producer that took on greater urgency after sanctions on Russia put pressure on global energy prices. Well, if vague was a word by Ralph Vague Gonsalves. Let's see, we have somebody calling. I know they're calling about this situation, but good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Yes, good morning. The American press kept referring to Gonsalves as a friend of Maduro.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They didn't say he's a friend of America, you know.
But he said he's a friend of all, so that
yeah,
would
I know,
include Maduro.
but you know how they're saying it on the air, on the international thing. So he must have had some part, but nothing wrong with that. Now, there is a difference between a statutory body and the central government. Social Security is a statutory body. So whatever goes on is at Beacon Height is the property of Social Security. Just a clarification. All right, then.
All right, understood. Thank you for your contribution. But yeah, I don't know. What you guys think would be the reason why Gonzalez would be a bit hesitant about saying that this thing took place there, especially when it's been so widely reported? But we have another caller. Good morning, caller. 11 LNT. What's up?
Good morning, Azim.
Good morning.
Long time you don't hear me voice, no?
By too long.
It's shorten it. I'm here listening and observing everything, eh?
Right.
Now, I don't know if you would see it like how I see it, but before an election, do politicians need privacy? And do they refuse?
I think we all do at some point.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to tell you, I come into that. And do they refuse answering the phone, even though the phone is ring, they're picking it up and saying hello before election? But why after election, the phone...
Well, I don't know how much time they ring or how much time they pick up, but I would assume they pick up a good amount of times.
Well, just after election, phone could be ringing as hard as it can. They don't hear it. And then that is the time they need privacy. Like the gentleman who spoke earlier, he said, what it is, what word he used? Anyway, he said, it's of the people and for the people. So if you could answer your phone and you ring before election, why you can't answer it when you ring after election?
Maybe too much calls now, man. Too much calls.
And why all of a sudden you want privacy from the people, them who you
Too much calls.
Okay. Okay, well, maybe they need to see who number calling and identify the number by the person or the person by the number and answer that only. Thank you, Azim.
Oh, boy. So, who you been trying to call and not getting? Oh, you calling, you gone? Oh, Lord, I wanted to know who you're trying to call and not getting here, but... Oh, man, but that's a regular complaint, eh? But, I mean, I wouldn't want to be a politician before election. Never mind if I'm successful at the polls. I don't want... But I'm going to say something. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I said, there's no way the politicians them could keep up with the calls that they're getting. No way. But there needs to be a mechanism by which people are able to, express whatever it is they want to express. But this thing we live in is, you see, because we live in a small society, you're going to have these kind of things happening where people feel they have this this direct access to the politician, eh? And I'm telling you, as a matter of fact, I remember I had a friend one time who visited the island, and we were driving around, and I was like, "Oh, what's the Prime Minister?" At the time, it was Dr. Denzel Douglas. I was like, "What the Prime Minister there?" And it was just like, "That's the Prime Minister?" I was like, "Yeah." So he just walk around, like y'all could talk to him and see him. I was like, "Yeah." And it's only at that point I recognize this person comes from a place where they most likely would have never and will never see the president. They would never see the president. But we have this type of access here. And it's encouraged. Call me, man. Just take my number. And then, of course, when you take the number now, who knows if you're going to get an answer. Okay, up to Monday I was talking to some friends. I was telling them, look, what needs to happen is, even if you just take up the phone, after you don't encourage people, give them your number, you take the phone and say, hey, guess what, I'm running into a meeting right now. This is what you're going to do. You're going to call my secretary, give her your name, and let me know, and then we'll schedule a call. But the truth is, if they were to answer all the calls and spend even 5 minutes with every call, they won't get anything done. No government business will get done. The amount of calls it does get. I'm telling you, because I've been sitting next to a minister and just see the phone just going off and off and off and off and off. It wouldn't stop. So, boys, but we need to build mechanisms in place where people could get the information they need, get their concerns out, communicate with relevant authorities for whatever it is they're dealing with. But people just like to know they could pick up the phone and call the Prime Minister, pick up the phone and they could call the constituency. We pick up the phone and call the minister for whatever. That level of access is probably more detrimental than anything else. Probably more detrimental than anything else. If you want something done in a particular ministry, reach out to the relevant people in the ministry. You ain't got to go directly to the minister. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Yes, Prince. We're there. Yes, you're getting a feedback. Let me come out the line.
Yeah. Each road. Okay. I thought you just turn on your radio next time or your whatever device you're using to listen to Island T on. But feel free to call back each route. Let's see. Oh, someone's calling back. Let's see if that's him. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
To remedy some freedom to the ministers, every government come along, gives them this idea. Why don't we have constituency councils that the constituents can meet in the community center, in a school, or some bigger in the constituency, and they would have constituency meeting with the constituent councils. The councils then will take the queries and concern to the PSR, to the minister. And upon that, wait an action to take place. And at times you could even invite the minister for the minister to hear from the constituency councils and the constituents of what we need done in the constituency. I always find it so very highly disrespectful for a minister or the governing party to come and to outline and say they're going to put down a daycare center or basketball court. It's highly disrespectful, sir. You need to come to us and let us recommend what we want and what is most important for the constituency. At that moment, who said that in a police station outlet we want a health center? You see where I'm going?
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's for the constituents now to recommend to the minister what we need. Then the minister will take, when they got them on the meeting, in and say, well, listen, my constituents then is requesting a school or requesting a head center or daycare center or something. And then he gets back to the constituency council. Then the constituency council would call meeting and say, this is what the plan is. Our minister take these to Parliament for us, and these are what we're going to get. The constituents will be more happy, the minister will look better, and the minister would hardly ever lose.
But people just like to know they could call the minister. They just like to know they could call the rep. And
because we need to change that forum. Have constituency councils and paid by the taxpayers. You could have, yes, paid by the taxpayers because they will be working in the constituency on behalf of the minister.
Yeah.
And you will see the constituency, them will be more developed. They will look better, the minister will look better, the government will look better. I don't know what y'all think. I'm gone.
All right, appreciate it. No, that is something that we've had a discussion here as well. I think I've heard several candidates speak about a similar setup in the constituencies. I've even gone as far as to suggest that we need a constituency fund, because what happens is that a lot of times if your representative is on the opposition benches, sometimes it becomes difficult for them to get anything done. I mean, we know how that dynamic operates, but if there's funds allocated specifically to each constituency, that you say, for instance, through a mechanism like the constituency councils, as you call them, and in relation with the rep for that particular constituency, gets allocated to whatever community projects, etc. I think that'd be better for everyone involved. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning,
Morning.
how are you?
I'm good.
Jade.
Jade had to stay home
Morning,
today, but
Jade.
she soon come back.
Okay. Yes, I agree with what Carl Brown saying. He's so right. Because that's a good idea. And don't worry, they don't get the allowance every month. What they does with it, I don't know. They suppose to come round and now and again, maybe 2-3 times in the mountain, clean up the area, and they look like they stop. Once upon a time, they used to do it. And on Sunday, they get the boys and them, and they used to do it, and they look like they stop. But Mr. Alice got to be calling and say, no, it will want a good cleaning up. Miss Libert when she did it and then put out in a area with an empty land. I saw it happen, like decorate with the little pallet box them and paint them, and they look like a little park, Yeah, and people used to use, but you run away after a while. I don't know what happened. And them, when an empty yard, empty land, people will be throwing over the trash instead of take it to the dung truck, to the garbage truck, to take it to the landfill, all of that, and they used to go and clean it up. Yeah, what are you saying with that day again? It's so true. Come and have some community thing. We don't tell them, oh, you don't know where you have me up here sick. So I hear the nuts lady for a while. Me pass what she do. No. But when in the election time, I just see them show up in front. I can tell a killer I was going to go through this time. So the last day, they shut down, Nobody come. Nobody, you not see them. Nobody want to know you eating, you drinking, nothing. They were supposed to give me the money from the shutdown, maybe because I have my bar down the bay, my business, my little business. And I say, this month, which in 3 days from now, make me 22 years.
What? Congratulations, hey.
Yes. Wow, I didn't know I would have reached that far. Thank you, Jesus. In my business and to the business, I was telling Mr. Parental last night, that will help me get his house, because at my age, when I get his house, if I didn't have the business to put up front,
Right.
I wouldn't have been on house bill. I might have still down the bell, so when you pass, and somebody, when you go there, when you go there, Mr. Yoko, you come down the hill there by the Law Forest Avenue, and I know you go call out to you, It's a Lord, nuts lady. Okay, nuts lady, and what I used to like, I can run in the sea. I used to like that too. I miss all of that, but I go a couple times just up here, but I done with it, I'll continue go. So yeah, they need to do this community, go around, see what those people want. See how they say that they will have somebody going around there to do, look after older people than me, who can't move around and see if we go to assistance they could give them. And when Labour just went in, they were doing it they used to have a big bus and they would take you around for a little drive. Right? I don't know that they let you chop through after a while, coming down in the 2020 something. So yeah, we need that. We need to look out. Got this community center thing. Come and, let people express themselves. What they really want to happen. Wait till it's about 2 weeks and you want what I could do for you, my foot. Well, I'm to all them years. You have a good morning, you hear?
All right, you take care. Congratulations again.
Yeah. And 22 years, wow, that's a long time.
For sure.
Thank you. And now a little rest in a while. I get up about resting.
All right, take your rest. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Drinking water, my business.
Right. All right, take care. Bye. If I don't love the callers, then bye. Big up yourself, next lady. Oh, bye. The time fastly running us down. We only have a few minutes left. I don't think I have enough time to run into and do a whole other article. But there is a lot going on. We were supposed to talk about North Korea firing more missiles. And then we actually had a Tigray article today. Hopefully there's peace talks happening. Hopefully we see an end to that conflict sooner rather than later. I think that's one of the biggest humanitarian crises in the world right now. And then Jade, I ain't gonna even tell them what your last article was because it's just depressing. When you come back, we could talk about that. Because that's definitely a Jade speak right there. That's definitely a Jade speak. But yeah, guys, if there's no more calls, I'm actually gonna probably wrap up the show right now. I'm looking at the lines. Okay, no calls. But guys, I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I see y'all sending Jade all the love on the live. That's awesome. And whether you listen to us on YouTube, Facebook, where else, Twitter, you know what? I just call out random ones every day. Let's look and see where all this thing streaming. So I have winmediaskn.com, right? You have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have Mixlr, TuneIn. There's all sorts of different platforms that you could listen to us as. And as a matter of fact, I saw we have some new listeners from Anguilla hanging out with us this morning. Please feel free to come back. Hopefully we didn't scare you away. We are all nice people here. Kititians and Nivisions, filled with love and grace. So please come back. But appreciate all you guys for hanging out with us online. Those of you who are listening on your radios, 98.9 FM, please understand that we appreciate you big time. Make sure you turn it up loud. All the busman them who got Island Tea running in the vehicle, y'all the real MVPs. Y'all know people come in work need the tea in the morning. And so you guys doing a huge national service, and I salute you. Guys, I gotta leave, I gotta go, I gotta disembark. Please learn from the mistakes of others. We don't have to go and repeat everybody's mistakes, guys. And I'm still seeing you guys going out and posting your content more than you live it, you know. Please live your content more than you post it. You don't have to post everything on social media. Sometimes you could see things and just continue scrolling. It's not that hard. As a matter of fact, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So practice from today. And guys, please remember that you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.